Hello, tutor and classmates. My name is Edwin Nunez. This is the task for the activity for English 4th about the comparison and the advantages and disadvantages of the two civilizations, Eastern and Western civilization. So let me start by saying that both civilizations has given or has contributed a lot to the world in different fields. Those kind of fields could be positive or negative aspects. For example, my position is that I am in favor of Eastern civilization. Why? Because there are some aspects of study, fields of study that I can talk about. The first one is literature. For example, in literature, the Eastern civilization has a great variety of written systems, such as Chinese characters or written forms of Sanskrit language, and also pictograms and other kind of scripts. About philosophy and spirituality, they both come together, including, for example, Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Uh, those kind of aspects in the Eastern literature has provided a big insights into human nature, as well as ethics and arts. In that case, for example, martial arts that are very well known from China or from Middle Eastern. Another aspect of field of study is traditions. Uh, you know that Chinese medicine and Ayurveda from India has contributed a lot in our understanding of holistic health and alternative medicine treatments. For example, people that go under treatments from Chinese is nowadays on fashion. Another aspect is about science. So I am in favor of this kind of civilization. In science, especially in this field, means a lot of innovation because they worked a lot on paper making at the beginning with printing and invention of gunpowder. That in some civilizations, gunpowder are used for good benefits and other people use them for bad benefits for the humanity. Another is the culture. In Eastern communities, there is a lot of emphasis on family and community ties, the importance or the relationship in social support systems that probably came from the beliefs of God that demand the worshiping from a family. You know that gods in the past and even today require people to worship, but not only as individuals but as a group or in groups. It shows that the civilization adopts a very conservative posture and good manners, good behavior. So basically, I like it because there are very conservative traditions. Talking about the economic fields or economic studies, there is a fast growing and in the developing countries like China and South Korea. Those both countries have experienced a very quick economic growth in the recent decades or in the recent days. This kind of civilization has contributed a lot to the global economic development. So that's why I'm in favor of this civilization too. Not all is like a pink color. There are some disadvantages too of the Eastern civilization. For example, about social heritages. For example, in social heritages, we have inequalities that still exist today, limit individuals to have freedom and social mobility. It is a relation to authoritarianism. Some Eastern countries have authoritarian governments and restrictions on political freedoms, especially for women. For example, when they were not allowed to vote, but now it has been changing in some countries. Another aspect that is a disadvantage for the Eastern country is the environmental issues. We know that Eastern countries have faced significant environmental problems, including air pollution and water pollution, deforestation. Okay, so it's basically those are of the disadvantages of the Eastern civilization. Uh, Now let me tell you some aspects of the Western civilization. Some advantages that we can mention of the Western civilization is about technological advances or scientific advances. For example, Western civilization has been the pioneer, as we know today, technological progress, leading in innovation in various fields of studies, including medicine, engineering, and even machinery. Uh, Another one is the individual rights and democracy. In general, is an example of democracy. United States has a lot of emphasis on individual rights, political freedom, and the rules of law. It's very well known in different kinds of the world. That is a good example from the United States and countries like that. And in the field of economic, there is a high standard of living and strong contributions to the global prosperity in economical terms. Another one is the cultural influence. You know that Western influence directly to young people about pop culture, including music. For example, we already know Michael Jackson, Madonna. They come from the United States, and very important directors and actresses or actors from movies, important people that works on fashion and literature that has had a significant global impact on the world. And another aspect or field of study is education and innovation. United States and the Western civilization has a strong educational systems and promote innovations, leadership, and even entrepreneurship. Those are some of the advantages that I see, but as I said at the beginning, not always and not all the time everything is the color pink. There are some disadvantages of the Western civilization. For example, talking about culture, that we highlight some good aspects here. For example, in this one, has been changing to cosmopolitan or multicultural country. So it has negative effects on culture styles and language variations. So it means that if you go to United States, you can find different people from different countries, and the variation of language has affected in the language listening of language researchers because of this variation, a lot of variation of different accents of languages. Another one is the civilization that has fallen into materialism. So, in Western civilization has a lot of consumism that had negative social effects on environmental consequences. Why? Because of that job, or they are very in a hurry to have dramatically consumption of different articles, yeah, in the society. And another aspect that I consider that is a disadvantage is the ethical concerns. For example, advances in technology and science has raised dilemmas, such as those related to the privacy, surveillance. There are some devices that are sent from one country to another country to spy out what they are doing or what they are their last technology using. So there's some countries don't like that. Like that, for example, Western civilizations, like United States, for example, are very against of those kinds of illegal um, um, civilization aspects of investigating. That is not the very well um, form of getting against a country, sending devices on the air, and things like that. And another aspect that is concerned to ethics is about the genetic engineering. You know that nowadays people are acting like God, and they are doing, for example, mm, inventing or new formulas to um, modify the genetic things in our body. So some people say that is not very ethical to do that. I'm talking about the genetic field. Okay, those are some advantages or disadvantages of the Western and Eastern civilization. But I am in favor of, or I am all for um, Eastern civilization more than Western civilization. So thank you very much for your time. This is me, Edwin Nunez, for the English Fourth. Thank you very much for your attention.